Hello, if you're just joining us, thank you. We will be starting promptly at 2 p.m. in just another minute or so. All right, everyone. Hello, and thank you all for your time today and for joining this session. I have it as 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll go ahead and just get started with this session. My name is Wesley Holloway, and I'm a medical librarian and a product trainer with the customer success team at McGraw-Hill. And again, I'd like to thank you all for attending this session. It is being recorded, and it will be provided to you in an email link for anyone who registered and went through the registration process. You will receive that link to view the recording later. So we have set aside 45 minutes for this session today. We may or may not require all of the time. Again, it is being recorded and will be provided to you in an email afterward. I do ask that you remain muted and use the chat feature. And at the end of this session today, I will circle back to the chat box to address any questions that you may have. So we should have some time at the end of this session where I will be able to address your questions. And for any that I'm unable to get to, or for those questions that require a more in-depth response or some digging on my part to find the answer for you, then I'll be sure to follow up with you in a separate email once the session has concluded. So in the session today, we are going to start out with a look at AccessPhysiotherapy, which is what you should see on your screen presently. And we'll then shift gears to also look at our F.A. Davis collections for physical therapy and athletic training. Also, we're going to take a look at the My Access Profile sign-in feature. If you're familiar with our products, then you're probably already familiar with this sign-in tool. It is a sign-in feature across all of our sites. So the one you create for physiotherapy will also be the one you use and sign in for the F.A. Davis collections. And so we'll be sure to take a look at that toward the beginning of today's session. And then finally, we will circle back and look at our support site as well. So this is where we house all of our user resources and ways to contact the customer success team for any questions that you have. And so we'll take a look at that as well. Content maps, videos, user guides, that sort of thing you can find in our support resources. All right, but we're going to start now with a look here at AccessPhysiotherapy, including resources for practicing clinicians, but also residents, instructors. We'll look at some instructor tools and ways that you can integrate our content into your courses. And of course, we have material here for students as well. All right. So starting out here on AccessPhysiotherapy, it's important to point out that AccessPhysiotherapy and the F.A. Davis sites are all online comprehensive resources, and they have some of the leading physiotherapy materials available for teaching and learning, including leading textbooks, some of which you may be familiar with, like O'Sullivan's Physical Rehabilitation, Dutton's is another title. We also have procedural and exercise videos, image galleries, self-assessment tools, and quizzing that are really great for your preparation for the NPTE. We also have cadaver dissection, reusable dissection tool that is really nice for a review of anatomy and physiology that we'll take a look at. Access Physiotherapy is, of course, devoted to the study, instruction, and practice of physical therapy. It does include over 45 essential textbooks, hundreds of multimedia resources and videos, over 290 cases that you can integrate into coursework for case-based learning. Again, thousands of review questions to help your users prepare for the NPTE. All of our sites that we'll see here today, so Access Physiotherapy and the F.A. Davis collections, are mobile friendly. So that's important to point out. You can access everything here that we are looking at today on a desktop. You can access through your mobile device. I do want to point out to you, however, starting out with this sign-in feature, this is called your My Access profile. And this is really an essential tool that you have. You want to create your free profile and sign in whenever you begin using any of the content here on Access Physiotherapy or the F.A. Davis sites. Again, it is a free sign up. Most people use their institutional email address, for example. And whenever you sign in, you will notice your name and also your institutional affiliation to the right of your name. And my apologies, my internet is somewhat slow. So here you can see my sign in. And why is that important? So it's important to point out that, especially if you're accessing your subscription remotely, you want to be sure to connect through your institution's subscription. And for anybody who is in rotations, who works in multiple settings, maybe you're at a clinic and you're at at a university, if you're going to different locations or just accessing remotely in general, it's important that you authenticate through your institution subscription. And you do that by going through some kind of web link, usually a library page. Your department might have a page or an intranet, or a direct link to your subscription if you subscribe separately from your library. But you want to be sure that you connect through your institution's website. And you'll notice that whenever you sign in, you'll see your institutional affiliation to the right of your name, and that will let you know that you are properly authenticated, and that is what gives you access to the subscription. So it's very important to point that out. So with a My Access profile, I'll quickly show you here some of our tools and benefits. You will be prompted some point along the way of using the content in Access Physiotherapy. You will be prompted to log in, such as completing quiz content and different textbook features will not be enabled unless you are signed in. So here is a look at your My Access profile dashboard. And so something that you can do when you are signed in, you can add content here to your favorites in your My Access profile. And this is just a running list of all of my recently added content. And you can add in entire videos, whole textbooks, chapters, images, and you can organize your content into folders. So you can see some of the folders that I've created here, including on gait disorders. And so this is a very nice way of organization for your students, or just even as instructors or any user in general. You can organize, for example, by class or topic, a research interest. And there are a couple of ways that you can, as an instructor, for any instructors in attendance today, there are a couple of ways that you can embed our content using links to the content. So all of the items here in my folder have a unique durable, what's called a durable URL. So it's just a persistent link to that resource. And you can actually, when you're signed into your profile, you can save content from throughout the site. And shortly here, I'll show you how you can star content and save it to your favorites in your folders here. But for any of your content that you have saved, you can actually export whole folders of content And this will download as an IMSCC file, which works with most learning management systems. A couple of the common ones that you're probably familiar with are Blackboard and Canvas. And so you can just batch export links to any of your saved content. Or you can also download an Excel file here, which is really just going to download links, the durable URL links to all of your folder items. And so you could just manually copy and embed those links into your LMS. And I'll also show you where you can find those links on the actual item level. We'll take a look at that as well, which is another way of embedding our content. We also have, of course, this recently viewed items here in your history. This allows you to track your content. It's really nice if you accidentally close a browser or you're looking for any items that you were looking at previously that you want to go back and find. You can also see your review questions. These are all of the quizzes that you're working on throughout all of our sites that you may have access to. You can also see all of your cases that are in progress, and you can resume any case or quiz work from your profile here. And something I really want to point out to you in your settings, of course, you can manage your profile, but to the left, you'll notice this My Alerts tool, and that will allow you to set up email alerts. These are just simple email notifications. Anytime new content is added or updated in the site, you'll receive an email letting you know. So a really nice way of staying apprised of all of our latest developments and updates. Any textbook updates, for example, new editions. I'm going to navigate back now to the homepage for Access Physiotherapy, and we'll get started with a look at the site. Again, my apologies, my internet is somewhat slow today. All right, so along the top of Access Physiotherapy, and you'll notice a similar design and layout when we get to the F.A. Davis sites. You'll see our search builder here, or our search layer, excuse me. And notice that as I type, this auto suggest appears. That's a really nice guide to help me in my search. And our search layer is just a simple search tool. You don't really need to include any kind of special operators or advanced searching here. But as a librarian, I do encourage you to run your search at least a few different ways, just to be sure that you're getting a more comprehensive yield. Now, you can, by default, search your topic in Access Physiotherapy, but you can also switch it to all sites, and that will run a federated search to pull more results across all of the Access medical platforms. So if you also subscribe to Access Surgery or Access Medicine, for example, it'll pull results from those sites as well. And it's just a way of broadening your search results. To the left here of our search results, you'll see this modify search tool. So this is our search builder. And this is a little more of your advanced searching capability that we've integrated into your search results. So you can update by keyword, title, author, or ISBN. And you can also filter your results by format type. I like to show this filter because I really think it's the easiest way if you're looking for any specific resource types. So if you're looking for cases on a certain topic that you want to use for a class, or you want a certain image in your area, then you can usually use the search layer and then filter by your format type here. And that'll typically take you to the types of resources that you're looking for. And you can also use our textbooks and topics filters here. These will all vary depending on what you search, including your format type. So please be aware of that as well. And to the right of your search results, notice the star icon. So anywhere you notice this star icon, anywhere in the site on any item, it could be a case, it could be a textbook or a chapter or a video. This is how you can add those content items to your favorites just by selecting the star and inserting it into any one of your folders here. All right, I'm going to now navigate to our books library here in Access Physiotherapy. Again, we have over 45 leading titles in physiotherapy, including some new additions. I do want to point out to you this table to the left is where you will find easier access to all of the different titles. You can see the areas in which we have them all organized. So again, just for your ease of access. All the titles here will be organized similarly, organized and designed similarly in terms of their construction and how they're presented on the page. And I do want to point out to you that they are all durable URL enabled. So each title here will have its own unique persistent link. And so if we take a look at Dutton's Orthopedic, just as an example, you can find the durable URL for any of these titles in the browser, and you can copy that link and embed it in a learning management system. So if you see here up at the top, this book ID 2707, so that is the unique URL for this particular title. So if you're wanting to integrate this title into your coursework, you could just copy that link. You can embed it in a syllabus or a lecture, most commonly and probably best used in an LMS. And that way your students authenticate with your subscription through an LMS. And then when they select the link on their learning management course page, the class that you have set up, they are already authenticated. So they just select the link and it brings them right here to this content item on the site. And that also can be any of the chapters or any of the chapter sections. You can also link to more sections or chapters. So it does give you some flexibility. You don't just have to link to an entire textbook carte blanche. So like, for example, here is the chapter durable URL. So if you're just wanting to link to a chapter, assign this as a reading, for example, you could do that as well. And so the chapters are organized with these breadcrumbs along the top. So it helps you with your navigation and tracking your place. You can jump to particular sections. These are hyperlinked. Again, you can just copy the link address on any of those and embed in an LMS. You also have these download chapter PDF options. You can also download a PDF by section. So that is a nice new addition that we have made available. Now the PDFs, I will caution you, follow the HTML, so the online version of the text. So the page numbers will not correspond to the print text. So that is just something to be aware of when you're assigning readings or you're looking for an instructor's assigned readings. You can also share through email and social media, and you can generate a citation. With these automatic citation generators, as a librarian, I do encourage you to double check that against your citation manual, your style manual. And you can also use the citation files here to generate another style if you need. So a few things I want to point out to you. We organize all of our figures in tables into separate tabs. They are also available in the full chapter, but just for your ease of access, you can also access those here in the separate tabs. And all figures download as PowerPoint slides. They include the full citation, and they are fully licensed for educational use. And of course, you'll see where you can favorite the figure or view in full size. And a couple of tools I want to point out to you in your full chapter. Notice that we do have this tool along the top called Read Speaker. This is the listen icon. And Read Speaker is just our text-to-speech tool that reads the text to you. It is great for auditory learning as well. And you can even adjust the settings here And my apologies, my internet has frozen just for a moment here. I'll try refreshing my page. But you can adjust the settings on Read Speaker, including reading speed, automatic scrolling, text in Word, or sentence highlighting options are also available to you. And so I do encourage you also to take a look at some of the other textbooks and resources that we have found under the Books tab in our library. We have textbooks for wound analysis, ethics, documentation. So a lot of really great titles that are available to you. I'm going to try refreshing my page here or reconnecting with AccessPhysiotherapy. Just a moment, please. My apologies. All right, I think we're back now. Switching gears, we also have this quick reference portion of the site. This is really designed, the content here is really designed for clinicians, residents, users who are out in the clinical setting. All of the information here is designed to facilitate a quick lookup of clinical information at the point of care and to help facilitate a diagnosis and provide more authoritative treatment answers. We have here this quick answers text, which offers a lot of concise outlines of some of the common conditions and disorders, really great for a high yield review for studying or for a quick reference, again, at the point of care. So the information listed here is provided in a bulleted format, as you can see on your screen. Again, that's just to facilitate a quick lookup of information. And it's information that will assist you in understanding various diagnoses, as well as providing guidance in different issues associated with those diagnoses. So different functional goals and impairments are identified that help to strengthen documentation and communication with other healthcare professionals. We also have here our drugs monograph. This is our authoritative database with thousands of drugs that are organized by generics, trade names, and drug classes, as you can see in this left-hand table. This is also a nice resource for a quick lookup of information. It's searchable and also organized alphabetically. You see the auto suggest that appears to help guide your search. Our drugs here are updated every 2 weeks, and you'll see some of the general information you can access here includes imaging, brand names in the US and internationally, different medication safety issues or standard drug data. We also have US pricing information. This is the average wholesale price for our drug or for the drugs, and that usually is of interest to a lot of our users. You'll also see we have patient handouts specific to these drug monographs. These are written in very clear terms to ensure that a patient will be aware of how to properly take their medications, and it addresses any kind of side effects that they may encounter, any common questions that they would have about their medications. So that can be a nice tool as well. Again, these are updated every 2 weeks. So we also have in physiotherapy a whole library of multimedia resources, including these videos. Again, you have hundreds of videos here in the multimedia library that are available and organized here to the left. These are all different procedural and treatment videos, conceptual videos. So you can filter by evaluation and examination, diagnosis, related back to our search topic, gait, locomotion, and balance. And again, all of these videos can be embedded in your course. So if you just wanted to copy the link to any one of these videos and embed in an LMS, you could do so and easily integrate some of our multimedia into your course. We also have different content here, even related to the NPTE. So we recently had a webinar series with different subject matter experts. And you can actually view the entire webinar series here that will really help your users to prepare for their exam. Different tips and test taking tips and tricks are available there as well. And another tool that I'll show you here includes this Anatomy and Physiology Revealed. So this is our cadaver dissection experience. It's really designed to help your users explore the human anatomy using cadaver specimens. It also helps them to master physiology concepts. And so you select a different, you select a module and a different topic, like your abdomen, for example. And notice here that each of the sections includes cadaver photos that are combined with these layering techniques that allow you to peel away layer by layer to reveal the structures beneath the surface. So notice in the rendering as I dissect with these layers, how it is changing on screen. But this tool also includes, other than just animation and dissection, it also has histology, 3D modeling, a practice atlas, again, animation. You can see our histology. It also includes comprehensive quizzing. You can even save your renderings and download those. You can complete a quiz here and download your results as a PDF and share that, for example, as from a student to an instructor. So some flexibility here with using this tool and a really nice, reusable, sustainable tool for distance anatomy and physiology learning, teaching and learning. And I do encourage you to take a look at some of the other lectures that we have available here in physiology and neuroscience, gross anatomy. Those all those lectures are ready to go. PowerPoint lectures, they're fully licensed for educational use and really are very nicely adaptable for your course that you're teaching. Of course, we also have case content here, great for case-based learning. You can see all the different resources that our cases are based on. So different textbooks like Waxman's Clinical Neuroanatomy, cases in therapeutic modalities. We have, of course, this subset from the case files text series. And so most all of these cases are ready for your more advanced users. They generally all provide material for short targeted case-based learning that require the user to think critically about the content, and they will vary slightly from each, just depending on the author. But in general, you'll get a patient review and patient history and systems review, short answer questions, key takeaways and things to remember from each case, references, and also comprehensive quizzing. You can view your cases by case number as well, which is a nice way to challenge yourself so that you don't know the case topic ahead of time. But here in the look at the case, of course, here's your patient overview, and it's designed across these different tabs here as a progression as you work through the case. So for example, you'll have your open-ended questions that you can also save your answers for and resume work on the case later from your profile. You'll have key definitions, objectives for the case. You'll even see later on plan of care and interventions, evidence-based clinical recommendations, a comprehensive quiz. So again, all of the cases here are durable URL enabled. So if you want to embed CBL into your class, you can just simply copy the link to that case and paste into your learning management system. Of course, you can also add it to your favorites and batch export it with links to other resources. And students can complete these quizzes, and they can view their answers as they go along or view them cumulatively. And the quiz results do show their short answer explanations to help reinforce learning. And you'll see their options that they can retake the quiz. So I do want to caution you about that. And of course, the option here to email their results. So this is the way that they would share any quiz results from an assigned case. So they could just share that via email. I also, of course, want to show you our study tools. Here we have these review titles, and you can see all of the texts from which your users can generate different quizzes. Let's explore another title here. So here, for example, we have Dutton's questions. And so this will allow you some flexibility with your quizzing options. You can, of course, create a random quiz where the system pulls different questions for you. Or you can create a custom quiz, again, really nice, flexible tool so that you can choose from among the areas listed here and generate a quiz depending on whatever you want to focus on. And so we also have this simulated NPTE exam that is also available. And this is broken out into the different sections that you'll encounter on the NPTE. So it's really meant to simulate that experience. And you'll also find it here under the NPTE prep tab that we have available. And this is just all of the editorial selected content from across the site brought to this one place on the site so that you can easily access all of the resources that are most pertinent for your practice and your preparation for the exam. So I'm going to switch gears now with the last few minutes that we have in this session. We're going to look at the F.A. Davis PT Collection site first. Again, F.A. Davis PT Collection is an online comprehensive resource, and it is also covering the entire spectrum of physical therapy. And when it is in tandem with AccessPhysiotherapy as a subscription, it actually is entirely comprehensive and it covers the full PT curriculum. So it's a really nice coverage for your users. And I think my internet will jump there shortly, eventually. So just like with AccessPhysiotherapy, F.A. Davis is again mobile friendly, and it does include all of the same durable URL linking, so you can use those same functionalities. And of course, you'll notice right off the top, it's the same My Access profile login, and in general, just the same sort of design and layout, which really helps to ease your navigation as you use our different sites. So I want to firstly point out to you in the library here in the books tab, we have some great titles, including O'Sullivan's Physical Rehabilitation, but also Brunstrom's Clinical Kinesiology. And a quick word on O'Sullivan here. This is a really comprehensive and curriculum spanning textbook and reference. It's really great for teaching and learning, but it's also just a really nice reference to have for practicing clinicians and residents. This text does really provide you everything you need to know about rehabilitation management of adult patients. It spans from integrating basic surgical, medical, and therapeutic interventions to how to select some of the more appropriate evaluation procedures to develop rehabilitation goals and also implement a treatment plan. So it is a really nice resource. It includes more than 60 narrated and full color video clips of patients in treatment. including initial examination, interventions, and outcomes for a variety of some of your conditions that are commonly seen in the rehab settings. All right. We also, like with Access Physiotherapy, have a quick reference section of this site. Again, this is your content designed for a quick lookup in the clinical setting. And so here you'll see these Davis notes, and these are just your easy access clinical pocket references in a few of these key areas. So neuro notes, peds, screening notes, mobilization. And you'll also see here this rehabilitation specialist's handbook. And this handbook is a collection of some of your frequently used information that is organized for easy reference, covering a breadth of topics. So from the full range of basic scientific information like neuroanatomy, clinical orthopedics, general anatomy, to some of the treatments and methods used in modern rehabilitation practice. The drugs tab here in the F.A. Davis site is somewhat different, however, from what we saw in Access Physiotherapy. The drugs here is actually just based on the text called Davis's Drug Guide for Rehabilitation Professionals. You may be familiar with that title. And the guide, here we are, Davis's Drug Guide, is really intended to provide rehab specialists with a more up-to-date and easy-to-use resource about different and specific medications. So you'll see that it is searchable and browsable. And this guide consists of more than 850 drug monographs that contain pertinent information about each drug. Of course, you can also access multimedia. And again, you can link to any of the videos here, same as you would a textbook or a chapter or a case. So there are some really nice procedural and conceptual videos all organized out to the left for your ease of access. So you'll see, for example, taping, wrapping, bracing, padding, patient care skills. Also, lots of different cases here. These are all, again, organized based on these different text resources. Again, some really nice cases here for your more advanced users. So here, for example, we have these wound healing cases. And again, these will vary slightly just depending on the author. Notice how these differ from the neuro rehab cases that we saw earlier in our case files on Access Physiotherapy. And we can select any case and you'll just notice a difference just based on the different case author. And finally, we of course have some review questions also available here that help your users prepare for their exams. We have just a few titles available that you can generate random and custom quizzing from. And finally, looking at the F.A. Davis Athletic Training Collection site. Of course, this site is, of course, geared more toward athletic training, and it is also mobile friendly, and you can see a very similar layout and design, including, of course, the search layer and your My Access profile and your books library. Some of the well-known titles here include, of course, Orthopedic and Athletic Injury Examination Handbook, and another link to Brunstrom's as well. And again, these titles are organized to the left. And a quick word about this title, the Orthopedic and Athletic Injury Exam Handbook. So this is really great for athletic trainers or physical therapists out in the field, in the clinic. It's a really nice handbook with useful quick reference material for them, different explanations and diagrams. It discusses different procedures, including for over 185 special neurological, ligamentous, and range of motion tests. It includes palpation photographs with anatomical overlays to help identify underlying structures. And it provides precisely illustrated and step-by-step instructions for correct position of the patient and examiner, the evaluative procedure, positive test results, implications, proper measuring techniques, and much more. So a really great comprehensive reference here for your use. And of course, we also have the multimedia library. These are videos all organized by these different areas. Again, you can link to these. You'll see here, for example, these different tests, muscle and special tests videos. And they're all generally a student-friendly running time. You can see this is, some of these are less than a minute. So we know students and residents, for example, are very busy. So we do design those with their time in mind. You can also view our cases and modalities and pharmacology cases. Again, these are just based on this particular text that is referenced. And again, this is a nice way for you to assign any case just using the link at the top or saving it to your profile. And finally, of course, we have specific athletic training review titles available here as well. So quite a lot of questions that are available. You do, of course, have this study guide for the Board of Certification Athletic Trainer Certification Exam, which can be a very helpful resource for those who are preparing for that exam. And we have a few minutes left. We have about 5 minutes. So I want to show you this support dropdown at the top in this black ribbon. This is persistent across all of our sites. You'll see this user resources. And so this is going to take you to our separate website, our support site called the Access User Center. And you can navigate it in the menu here to the left, including by medical products. And you can see here we have AccessPhysiotherapy. You'll see our F.A. Davis supports as well. And these are all of our custom resources for the specific sites. And I'm going to link to this page in the chat box, and you might feel free, of course, to bookmark this. I just pasted in the link to the Access Physiotherapy channel. Here's the general Access User Center link as well. That'll take you to the umbrella site. But this is where we have all of our supports, so videos, user guides, how to create your MyAccess profile using anatomy and physiology, for example, virtual case-based learning in physical therapy and athletic training education. We also have here a linking to content video. This is a really nice quick video showing you how to link to our content here in the site. Also, we have this building a lecture video, which will also help you to integrate our resources into your teaching and learning content. And so any of these items also can be shared, such as with your students. And again, we have that available for the F.A. Davis sites here as well. So I do also want to show you in the Access User Center, we have these content maps. This is where we have taken and mapped to some of the different academic curricula and different specialty needs for these different specific audiences, including, for example, here, Doctor of Physical Therapy program. We also have physical therapy assistant content map. And so we take here and pair all of the resources and then the sites that you can access those in, like Access Physiotherapy, the specific textbook or case, for example, and the different accrediting and programmatic professional standards that it is mapped to. So a nice resource here for you to use in your own teaching and course design. All right, and so finally, we also have this, of course, ways of contacting us, and I'm going to enter into the chat box our team email address. It's customersuccess@mheducation.com. So feel free to save that to your Outlook contacts. It's the best way to get in touch with the customer success team. It includes a lot of other product trainers and librarians like myself. We're always happy to hear from our customers and assist you with your use of the sites. I'm going to, again, return to the homepage for one of the FA Davis sites. Again, you can get to our support site here under the support drop-down menu at the top and by selecting user resources. And really quickly, I'm going to look at the chat box. So we did have a question about saving content from different platforms. If you wanted to save content from AccessPhysiotherapy and FA Davis, will it all go to your same MyAccess profile? Thank you for that question. So yes, this MyAccess profile is the same it's the same login that you will use whether you're using FA Davis Athletic Training Collection or Access Physiotherapy, or even another one of our sites like Access Pharmacy or Access Medicine. All of your content will save to your profile, and it will be all accessible from that same profile. Are there any other questions? We're about at time today. I want to thank you all for your time and going over the sites with me. Again, please feel free to reach out to customer success at mheducation.com with any questions. We're always glad to hear from you. All right. Thank you all. Please look for the recording to this session. You'll probably receive an email in about 24 hours or so, which will link out to the session. And please feel free to share the recording with any of your colleagues or peers. And again, please feel free to ask us any questions. Thank you so much. Take care. Goodbye.